Hello all you beautiful people out there on the internet. I'm Lady M, or Mr. E if you like. Well, honeys, we're back for another Mission Makeup and deep diving into some interesting mashup kind of looks today. We're going to break out the prosthetics. We're going to get a little club kitty, if you will. No, really, literal kitty. Just sort of fun things if that club kitty went to a Baroque rave maybe, you know. All those kind of fun things, normal things, you know what I mean? So, get ready to get dusted, painted, and mugged, honeys. Mother's about to get started. Thinking historically about the Club Kid era, I've sort of related to it personally because of its DIY ethos. A lot of the looks, definitely weren't meant to be hot off the runway couture. It was very like what you had with you, creativity, and what you could do to make yourself seen. Create a silhouette and create a look. I definitely can relate to this. It takes me back to my art school days when I definitely did not have money for projects and budget. So mother would definitely be with her friends digging in the dumpster behind the architecture building. It was a great place to find scrap wood, poster board, and other things we could recycle into other art projects and hopefully, not break the bank. I would also say that this unbridled creativity in making do is also very tied to drag itself. So that, of course, I'm going to love. Even though this was inspired by the unbridled creativity of that period, Mother has learned a few tips and tricks along the way, and that's also that spending a little bit more money when you have it in quality items, will also save you time in the future. So I would recommend with color changing looks of the skin tone, if you will, fashion variety colors. It's also worthwhile to buy that foundation stick that is in that tone and then blending into it. That tends to give you a more seamless result and also saves you minutes on the clock. The other thing that it sort of touched me is just all these people bringing their creativity out to the clubs. It wasn't just one or two people that showed up in looks. It was a theme. Parties had, dress lists and sort of creative concepts that went with them. Full scale immersion, if you will. What you're seeing in the video now is kind of me sort of rough sketching, that sort of thing, as well as what I call the spaghetti approach. Just layering products, throwing noodles at the wall, and seeing what sticks. This fun, funky fashion look was definitely a melange concept of things that had been on my Pinterest board, if you will. Doing a sort of minty colored skin inspired by Moschino and other fashion runways, as well as doing something that involved prosthetics, which I don't always get to do, so it's always fun to flex those creative makeup muscles when you get the chance. As someone who's not a frequent user of prosthetics, but does love to break them out when necessary and when the look calls for it, I've learned there are some definite pros and cons for myself. I do like a prosthetic nose if I can get one that has holes in some way, like actual nostril holes, of course. It has to make sense. It really helps to have that air to breathe because it can get quite warm and sweaty under there. I've also learned not to be too hard on myself because sometimes things are a learning process of techniques and some it's just practice and practice, unfortunately. There's no real trick to it. I think I've learned that I do like to use acetone to blend out my prosthetics versus isopropyl alcohol, as well as I've got a new castor seal sealer for it, and I think that's the great way to go. It's sealing foam latex, as well as now I'm a big proponent of pre-painting your prosthetics. I think I've learned with pre-painting prosthetics, it saves me the time and stress of putting it on, getting sweaty, forgetting what I'm doing. It just makes it smoother, nicer. I do it the day before and it is all ready to go. I think in my reference to club kid culture, I was definitely thinking Lee Bowery, tight to the head sort of hoods, The collar, of course, very commedia dell'arte, clowns. And I think sort of the makeup, some of it does reference a little bit of that clown, intentionally or not. I also wanted to reference it in the big chunky boots I wear later for the end styling, as well as the sort of A-line voluminous dress I wear later. Those were definitely Lee Bowery and Club Kid influences for sure. While Mother does have a little more budget than she used to have, she still has old habits that die hard. She definitely loves to reuse things. She definitely, actually, as you'll see in these Halloween looks, I am wearing, styled differently, the same black dress that I made. So one black dress, 3 looks, so bang for your budget, honey. As well as there's some things I never throw out. Wig caps. I do tend to wear some of my favorite eyelashes over and over, even though I have so many of them stacking up. You gotta love a free gift with purchase, don't you? Even though some of the DIY Club Kid ethos created fashions in a sort of down and dirty scene, they really elevated themselves in a way because they've become iconic fashion influences, not just in regular culture, but in higher upper echelons of fashion and couture, you know? So, in a sense, I don't really think of this personal look as just a Halloween look or something you'd wear to your office party. I think of it as a look that could be a reference for all kinds of fashion at any time of year. Just like the club kids with their gritty beginnings, I hope to try to take my looks and elevate them, just the way the club kids became iconic references for fashion to this day. Meow, darlings. Don't you just love this fashion fantasy? Mint-colored skin, feline and feeling fresher. Get into this club kid fantasy. Mother loves it. I know you do. What's your favorite part about this look? Let me know down in the comments below. And what other looks you'd like to see for us on Mission Makeup in the future. So, as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Happy Halloween, witches!